Okay, please do not double up the audio. Okay, so far it doesn't sound like it's doubled, but please do let me know if you hear some sort of weird double echo. Also, before I forget, I do have a follower goal happening right now, which you can see the big fat yellow bar. If I hit 250 followers, I will play a Legend of Zelda game. I'm probably gonna play one of the Zelda games that's on this the Switch Online with the different console thingy-majiggies. Yep, you guys know what I mean. Yeah, probably leaning more towards the Minish Cap, because that one I played a bit as a kid. Never finished it, would you believe it? Anyways, let's go. Okay, trial 1, day 1. Let's go. Okay, I'm going to assume audio is a-okay. But again, please tell me if something goes haywire. Alright. Trying to get comfortable. Also, I have my tea, as always, so I will be drinking it. Okay, October 8th, 9:48 AM. District Court. Defendant lobby. Oh, number 6! We're not in number 2! Wow, we're changing things up here. Oh, right, this chick. I forgot her name already. Good morning. Oh, Vera, that's her name. So, you're Vera, right? I'm Tracy, Tracy Wright. That's right with a W, but not right. As in W-R-I-T-E, right? And then Tracy's introduction is already off to a great start. Imagine saying to someone, like telling this whole thing, this whole paragraph to someone. Their brain is gonna explode and they're gonna think you're weird, probably. We're on your side. You can tell us anything, please. Good morning. Oh my gosh, she speaks. Not bad, not bad. But I think you do better with a little smile, you know? You're so pretty. You need to sell yourself, you know? Where is Tracy going with this? Tracy, let's take it easy for starters. Oh, she's sketching. Thank you for taking my case. What a I love her overalls. It's a little lion. That's so cute. Okay. Well, that's a start, I guess. Ooh, it's a hand. There she goes with the nail polish again. Oh, right, I forgot about this. That's great, really. It's so cultured. Oh, she's drawing again. Wanna try? Ooh, really? Ah, girls. Fair, Apollo, fair, fair. The victim, Drew Misham, was a forger, and a stolen painting was found in his studio. A life of crime, really. And maybe one that led to his death. I have a mozzie in my room. Oh wait, shoot. Sorry, I forgot to move my bin. We're back in the court, baby! Well, we will now begin the trial of the Veramisham. Is the judge okay? His voice is all raspy and he's looking around all nervous like. The repercussions of today's trial will most likely be felt for a long time, and maybe indeed alter our legal system forever. Today is a test for the jurist system, and the first step towards a new order in our courts. Daddy's secret mission! I am so sorry about those glitches! Hey, Aussie Wi-Fi, can you know, maybe stop doing what you're doing right now? Yep, it's playing up. Cool. I might just pause or stop the stream and then restart it. Give me like 2 minutes, guys. Nah, it's really crappy today. Jeez. Well, this is not going to be a fun stream for all of you to watch, and for those watching on YouTube as well, I am so sorry about the matrices you guys are going to enter. I feel like it's worse than it has been in the past. I could be wrong though. It was really good a few weeks ago. What happened? Okay, well, we'll just keep going. The jurists will function like a jury. It is hoped their inclusion will help the courts to better reflect the people's will. Why aren't there any jurists in the courtroom? 3 closed-circuit cameras watch this courtroom at all times. The jurists have access to everything that transpires. Jurists judge well and judge cool. You guys ever act cool in a courtroom while deciding on someone's fate? Okay. Now see here, Prosecutor Gavin. I was going to say that. Oh, were you? I don't know if you should have. It's probably not professional, for starters. Ah, my apologies, Judge. Jurists, today, judge today's trial coolly, if you would be so kind. Oh dear. The jurists are unbound by the letter of the law. They don't affect the trial with evidence, but by their feelings. Ooh, emotions. And we're about to find out just what effect they're going to have. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin, the details of the case, if you would. His music is still going for some weird reason. The victim is the painter Drew Misham. Drew Misham. Why do I feel like that's a pun? He was killed in his own studio. His coffee was poisoned. By whom, you ask? By none other than the defendant, Vera Misham. Objection! There wasn't any poison in the coffee. Acton. No one has been doing the homework. Indeed, poison was not present in the coffee, but on the mug itself. The mug? Ah, residue was found on the rim, I see. The autopsy report describes the manner of our victim's death. The court accepts this as evidence. Okay, 9 to 9:30 p.m. estimated death. According to this report, the victim's death was caused by atroquinin poisoning. I don't even know if I said that right. A chemical compound that does not occur naturally. Lethal dosage is a mere 0.002 milligrams. A touch of atroquinin in the body is the touch of the Reaper's scythe. Lethal. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin, you may present your witness. I have for you today a simple man for a simple case. A man who witnessed the murder in its entirety. That journalist, no doubt. Oh, I forgot about him. I'm gonna get grossed out. In case you didn't see the last stream, brace yourselves, because you guys are gonna get real squirmish. Just, you know, cover your eyes or something, I don't know. I missed that text. The witness will state his name and occupation. Ah, right. Well, for starters, my name's Spark Brushel. My job is a lone observer of the world. In other words, a freelance journalist, right? Ahem, if you don't mind, I'd like to state something here for the record. Yes, Mr. Brushel. I dislike conclusions, specifically the aspect of jumping to conclusions. Preconceptions make park sandbox of endless desert waste. End quote. But you are a journalist. You said so yourself yesterday. Well, that's true, yes. But you must understand, I stand before you today a man with a dream. I'm offering you my testimony in exchange for exclusive rights to the story. Scoop turns Mr. Brushel into that Mr. Brushel. End quote. Let's hear your testimony then, shall we? A simple case, eh, Gavin? For me, the jury is still out. The journalist's story. I visited the studio around 9 that night to do the interview. The first outsider to enter the atelier. The lair. Journalistic history made, end quote. His daughter brought us coffee right after we started. And you know what happened next. Star falls, end quote. No one else entered the room beside her the whole time. No one else, eh? That does sound like a simple case. Unless you were the one who poisoned him. What are you saying, Judge? Need I remind you the cameras are rolling today? I felt the need to be a bit dramatic. You didn't do it, did you? What? Me do a thing like that? Come on, that's like newsmaker making the news, end quote. Or even contemporary witch hunt, end quote. I know, wild accusations rock courtroom, end quote. Stupid Mozzie. Ahahaha, rock indeed. Prosecutor Gavin sure looks like he's having fun. I'm so happy for him. Very well, Mr. Justice, your cross-examination, please. Okie dokie, back to it. Da-da-da. Let's just press all the statements. 9 at night? Isn't that a little late for an interview? If the great painter Drew Mishim says, come at 9, believe you me. Believe you me. What? Believe you me. Is that a proper saying? Or is that a typo? In my head, I thought he was gonna say believe me, and then I'm like, why is the you there? I don't know why that's there. Anyways, I go at 9. The first, and as it turned out, last interview with such a prolific painter. Right, can you tell us what it was like when you arrived? The first outsiders enter... You are the first reporter ever in the jury studio. Posterity will look back on that night as a turning point in journalistic history. A basically insignificant step for all mankind, but a giant step for that Brushel guy, end quote. If no one on the outside ever had access to the studio, then it would serve to reason that the deed was done by an insider. Oh, just see it. Welcome to your nightmare. You're gonna sleep well tonight, Vic. How you doing? Hope you're well. Hope streams are going well. By which he means Vera did it. So, how did this epoch mating... Epoch? I've seen that word and I never know how to pronounce it. Epoch making interview go. Believe you me is a thing. You've never heard anyone actually use it, but it exists. In what sit? Yeah, that's mind-boggling. I guess it would mean like believe me, kind of whole thing. Believe you, believe me, you me. It's like someone's trying to decide what to say and they just say you and me, but without the and. Anyways, his daughter brought us coffee. English is a mess of a language. It sure is. And yet it's a very common language for everyone to speak. Why? Would you mind being a little more specific? Ooh wee, let me tell you, I enjoy a cuppa. In fact, it all began when I was in 3rd grade. No wait, 4th grade. That's not what I meant. I believe I know what air it is driving at. This coffee the victim was served. Did anyone other than the defendant touch it? Right, that's what I was really going to say. Well, now if you've got a question to ask, you'd best straight up ask it. That's what I tell all the new recruits, several times if necessary. You believe me, you me believe you me. Believe. That's really hard to say consecutively. Whoa. Right for a grade schooler. That's my motto. Are you expecting a grade schooler to read your report? Mate, if they see your photo, I think they'll just cry and run away from your report, if anything. Which isn't to say I can only write grade school. Okay. Who touched the coffee? Don't know. I was in the back looking at the studio's equipment when she served it. And what happened next? Since you guys, it was great until I saw Mr. Toothbrush there smiling at me. Yeah. You know, Capcom, they do a great job with designs. I forgot specifically what, maybe it is just Capcom. They do great with character designs. Just this one in particular is just a bit questionable. This one's probably the worst one I've seen. I play a bit of horror, nothing has scared me more than him. Absolute nightmare. Yeah, I've been well. Like I said, I've pretty much recovered from exhaustion. But I can't guarantee that I will next week. Hopefully I do. Because I'm gonna be packed midweek. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know? You know what happened next? Star Falls, end quote. What's this about a star falling? Star Falls, huh? It's like an old telegram. Send money, over. Zowie, you don't know? That's like a journalism code word. You think everyone's in journalism? You poor thing. An important personage. Personage? Yeah. Passes away. A star falls, get it? Personage. Personage? Personage? Potato, potato. But there's no gravity in space, is there? I wouldn't think stars could fall, really. Does this matter? Ooh, boy, this is good stuff, good stuff. How about star breaks? Nah, lacks punch. I know, star dies. Nah, lacks imagination. Of course you could go with Drew dies, straight to the point. I like it. I think we need to hear about something a little bit more substantial. The moment of death, the Brussels coffee... I wonder... could maybe ask about his coffee. Everyone knows that, come on. I had no idea. Ah yes, because everyone does journalism. Imagine if everyone did journalism. That would be a very chaotic world we would live in. So you drank the coffee that Vera served you too? Of course. When someone serves you coffee, you drink it. I mean, that's just being polite. That's what my old boss always used to say. Never did get what he meant by it though. What? Okay, how old are you, sir? 36. Okay. This dude's older than Phoenix. Phoenix is like 33. But you're still alive, which is to say you didn't die. Of course not. No point falling before you're a star. End quote. That's not exactly what I was getting at. What were you getting at then? You know the poison was on the rim, not in the coffee. Oh yes, yes! There were 2 cups on that tray she brought, and one of the cups had Drew's signature painted on the side. No chance the guest would take that one by mistake, I guess. Well, Mr. Justice, was that testimony important? We're gonna say no. Russia drank the coffee too. Doesn't look like this is going to lead to much. Very well, please continue with the testimony. Okay, I'm gonna... no one else entered the room beside her the whole time. I'm just gonna keep pressing and go back to that statement. He looks 20 and 60 at the same time. You reckon he looks... I reckon he probably looks much older than the judge, if anything. And that's saying something. Can you say that for sure? For sure? Sure, I'm sure. Drew's studio isn't a big place, kiddo. I know if someone else had come in. What if they had been hiding in there from the before? Objection! Even if someone had been hiding in the studio, they hardly could have poisoned that mug without anyone noticing. You think I, Spark Brushel, would miss something as obvious as that? No way. He sure makes it sound exciting. I guess that's his job. There's only one moment we need to focus on, really. The moment when Drew Misham died? Exactly. There has to be something there. Okay, so... go back to that. I had a feeling it was that first one that I had to get more info from. B... The moment of death. About when Mr. Misham passed away. Oh boy, what a scene that was. He puts his coffee mug down with a crash, right? Yes, and then? Then the cold finger of death touches his spine. Life's flame sputters and fails. So cold was that touch, he could not naught but tremble uncontrollably. Are we in Shakespeare right now? What is he spewing out? Actually, Life's flame is a little tired. Life's river froze over. Yes, that's a go. I think he's starting his article already. Could you describe that a little more simply? Well, as you can imagine, I was pretty surprised. He hit the floor, as they say. Artist's seizure is final performance. End quote. Actual cannon paralyzes the central nervous system. The body arches back like a bow. Okay, I didn't really read that. Let's just... the limbs tremble, the throat burns. That's quite enough of that. Some of us want to be able to sleep. Some of us want to be able to sleep tonight. I just want to point out, all of you night owls out there, you ain't gonna sleep because of Brushel. Your nightmare's already here. Forget the whole description that Prosecutor Gavin just gave you guys about what a seizure looks like. You know. Oh yeah? Well, I want details. Lots of juicy details. For that, you can listen to our last year's hit single. Atropine, My Love by the Gavineers, available at all major music outlets. The point here is that the victim died of atroquinin poisoning. Wow, Mr. Justice, how did you find that testimony? I actually don't know. So... Can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm with the judge here. Yeah. The times that the judge is like on your side, it's like, whoa, what happened? Also, it didn't come up thick, but thank you for the resub. It didn't really come up on my feed for some weird reason, but I do see it on my stats. So, thanks for the resub. Appreciate it. It's probably gonna pop up anytime like soon, but thanks again. The point is that the victims what was the court record? Oh, that's it. Oh, what else did I expect? I'm gonna check that last one. You think the moment of Mr. Mashem's death would be important, but Mr. Brushaw's story really didn't tell us anything we didn't already know. Very well, please continue with the testimony. Oh, there we go. I was still thinking of a message, so I was holding on to the alert. Thanks, Twitch. Thank you, Thick. 14 months. Dang. 14 months. I hope that didn't echo through. I'm kind of concerned that it did. Did that echo? I'm very worried. I don't know if that echoed through or not. I'm scared. Damn audio issues. Alright, let's check the last one. Stars Coffee. You say Mr. Misham had the coffee too? But did you actually see him drink the coffee? Of course! He who sees it wins, but he who says it wins bigger, end quote. If it did, you didn't catch it, I can go back and look. Yes, if you can, that'll be great, thank you. I live in a man sees dog eat dog and writes about it world. Yet? I guess I can't say I saw him drink it really. He had one so-called sip, if that. Man puts lips to mug, drinks, end quote. That poison is quite virulent? Virulent. Oh my gosh, what the heck is that word? Who's translating this? My stomach did a so-called somersault. Since I'd gulped down that coffee without so much as a second glance at it. Wait, maybe something's there. Some kind of so-called trick. Anyone want to venture a guess for the record? Does this guy have a pause button? No, I think it's the death. I think it's the death comment. Oh, I missed what he said. The coffee Mr. Masham drank, that has to be important. So I'm like, oh, I guess it is important. Oh, gosh damn. Nah. Very well, please continue with the testimony. Okay, let's try the death moment. No echo? Yes! I fixed my audio! Look at me go. Tech savvy. Okay, I'm going very important. Well, as an account of the moment of the victim's death, I'd say it's very important. Please add it to the testimony. Very well. The court requests the witness add this account to his testimony. Those spasms, that was definitely death by poison. Okay. You say it was definitely death by poison. How can you be so sure? Hey, look, I'm just a journalist. I've seen a lot of things. And I've had more than my share of experiences with so-called poisonings. Man eats fishy fish, goes bye-bye, end quote. Food poisoning doesn't count. Should I get him to talk about something else? Let's go coffee. You fixed the tech problem without causing 3 more? What kind of magic did you use? What did I use? I think because OBS has the whole thing of like, oh, you can like this. You can kind of change how you want your audio output to go. So I think, yeah, I think my Elgato audio was doubling up with the desktop audio. So it was coming out, so that was coming out, but it's also playing through my desktop. And then my desktop was basically playing the same audio. Because I use the desktop audio for my Spotify music. So half the time when I forget to mute it, it's doubling the game audio. But now it seems like it's not the case, so I think I fixed it. Yay! Without causing them. Yeah, on the other hand, my Wi-Fi is still playing up, so I haven't fixed that yet. It will be fixed in a few months, I promise you. Promise, hopefully it does get fixed, because I did get confirmation that the internet at our other house is a lot better, so eek. Okay, let's get this coffee thingy. I'm still in the first testimony, oh my gosh. Very important, please. The victim drank his coffee, then immediately fell over. Oh yes, you can go to press with that one. Your Honor, this is a vital piece of information. Please add it to the testimony. Very well, the witness will add this to his testimony. Vital, right. He had 1 sip, if that. The next moment he was on the floor. Oh, slow acting. You scum. That is not right. I am also going to save. You. Objection! You know what I have a problem with? A particular property of the poison used, atroquinin. Oh, Prosecutor Gavin was quite clear about the poison. A lethal dosage of 0.002 milligrams paralyzes the central nervous system. If you drank that, even you, Mr. Justice, would be reduced to a quivering pile. Why are you using me as an example? Fortunately, we weren't told everything. There was a vital omission in Prosecutor Gavin's information. An omission? Atroquinin is as virulent, that word as he says, but death doesn't come upon ingestion. Why am I having trouble speaking today? Not immediately. That's because atroquinin is slow acting. Slow acting? Whoa. According to one forensic scientist, it's one of the most virulent poisons, but is absorbed into the body astonishingly slowly. It takes at least 15 minutes from the time of ingestion for adverse effects to show. If we suppose that the moment Mr. Masham sipped the coffee was when he sealed his fate, then he would still have had time left to enjoy his last cup of joe. Oh my gosh, I hate his posture. That was gross. Order, what's the meaning of this? If what the defense says is correct, why, that contradicts the entire testimony we've just heard. Well, Mr. Brushel, anything to say on the record? Slow acting. S-L-O-W-A-C-T. It was virulent, alright? Even then, it had already begun digging its claws into the journalist. He's working on his scoop. Objection! It's Brushel, yeah? Brushel, let's take a trip back down memory lane. Huh? Did the victim really die the instant he took a sip? Think it over. This is vital. You know what I think? I think that was a not so subliminal suggestion. End quote. I admit it does cause a problem if he died when you say he died. I would be forced to say that to my simple case. And you would be forced to say farewell to your article. Come again? You can't write a story based on conjecture, can you? And as the case drags on, other reporters will pick up the scent. And you'll be forced to kiss your exclusive scoop goodbye. Scoop? Scoop? Aww. This is gross. His animation for this is gross. Look, wait a second. Just wait a second. Just 1 second. We're waiting. Out with it. I think I just recorded a so-called important detail. A revival of recollection, end quote. A story survival, end quote. Attorney utterly confused, end quote. I'm not gonna try sound it out in the text. Yeah, I'm not gonna try sound it out either. Goodbye. Oh, I do not like that. It's the most disturbing animation they did. Yuck. Actually, I did notice something when I visited the studio. If we all are unhygienic, like this dude, we would all be dead. Germs would be... I mean, germs are everywhere, but I think they would triple the amount that is flying around right now. I'd heard the poison that takes its sweet time, see? But not what I've been saying for the last few minutes, apparently. Mr. Brushel, are you saying you noticed something that explains what happened? You bet I am. The antidote for a poisonous contradiction. End quote, you might say. Or, I still have no idea what you're talking about. End quote, I might say. I figured it out, but only after an in-depth interview. See, thanks to my journalism skills, I know who poisoned that coffee. Bro, he needs to see a chiropractor for his shoulders popping out like that. Order. As far as I can tell, the witness is standing by his testimony that Mr. Masham died the instant after he drank. Of course I'm standing by my testimony, and my dream of exclusive rights to the story. Heck, I suppose it was too much to hope for. What was? Of course he wouldn't choose a simple case. Not him. Him? Phoenix Wright, who else? Acton, Ed Brushel, report for us if you would. What is it that you noticed? This court is a critical trial of the juris system. I'm afraid no room for doubt is permissible. You will testify to the court about what you noticed. I've heard end quote in the 20-ish minutes I've been here more than I've been here in my life. End quote. Quote. Yeah. End quote. I'm not even joking. My head's already hurting just from saying that, let alone reading it. So we're on the same boat. One Brushel noticed. When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Masham was at his desk. He seemed to be writing a letter, but he quickly sealed the envelope. I thought nothing of it at the time, of course. Now that I think about it, what if he was writing a suicide note? It wasn't. You stop that! Yes, I've missed it. Suicide note. Yes, he had this look on his face. Man's face inscrutable as a quadratic equation. End quote. Okay. Suicide? Poor Mr. Masham. But that means Vera's innocent. Would someone commit suicide in the middle of an interview? Oh. Very well, you may begin your cross-examination. I'm gonna check the envelope again, because I feel like that's not what was in there. Can I? I've deposited the $100. Oh, that's right. Sign the papers and send in the enclosed envelope. Oh wait, no, this was sent to him. Oh. Then I guess we don't know. Did we figure out what was in here? Oh no, we didn't. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I guess we have to press. Was there anyone at the studio other than Mr. Mishim? Well, his daughter Vera, of course. Was anyone besides Mr. Mishim and Vera present? Not a single one. Not a cat, not a rat, not even a mouse. The only person who didn't belong to that studio there was you, wasn't it, Mr. Brushell? I know what you're doing. I know your game. Attorney uses classic Ramsden phenomenon ploy, end quote. Who's Ramsden? If you intend to suggest that this reporter is a suspect, I'm sure you also intend to present evidence supporting the assertion, correct? In the meantime, let's move along, shall we? So you put the letter away when he saw you? Early reporter gets worm, end quote. That's my secret. I'm not sure I follow. It's the night of the interview. I arrive 15 minutes ahead of schedule. The handle turns, the door opens, and I barge in. Are you sure that's okay to do? I mean, isn't that unlawful entry really? Mr. Misham sure seemed to think so. You should have seen him. He crammed his letter into that yellow envelope as fast as he could. I know a secret when I spot one, and that was one. It does seem significant. Well, Mr. Justice, I wonder... It does have the ring of something important. Let's add it. The defense finds this testimony vital, Your Honor. Very well, please add it to the testimony then. Hey, why not? My account comes free of charge. What account? It was a yellow envelope. I heard it was left at the crime scene. Excuse me? And you saw him seal this yellow envelope with the letter? Hey, don't look at me like that. I saw what I saw. A pilot, you think this might be our big break? Yeah. What I need to do is show some decisive evidence now. Was it yellow? Are you talking about this one? I think he's talking about this one. Yeah. As it just so happens, there was a single letter in a desk drawer at the scene. In a red envelope. Oh, jeez Louise. Guys, don't do that to your face with a tie, please. Prosecutor Gavin. Yes. Was a yellow envelope found at the scene of the crime? Unfortunately, no, but air for red. It's easy to mistake the color of an envelope. I guess, but not this envelope. You see, it was postmarked already, 7 years ago. Well, Mr. Brushell, I can't explain that. True, right? He wanted to get that envelope in an... he wanted to get that letter in an envelope pronto. Get it out of sight, out of my beady eyes, right? So he grabbed the nearest envelope and crammed away. And what about the whole red and yellow envelope contradiction, chump? Well, Mr. Justice, have you anything to say to the witness's claim? That night, the victim put a letter he had been writing in a red envelope. It's not his letter, it's someone that sent it to him. I don't think I could if I tried. Ah, I like your expression, so full of confidence. It's simple, really. As it just so happens, the defense team investigated the contents of this envelope with the assistance of a forensic scientist. What? Note that this letter is addressed to Drew Misham. Oh? Why would he address a letter to himself? Let alone send a suicide note to himself. I've been scooped. Order, order, order. Mr. Brushel, can you explain this to the court? Oh, by the way, Vic, did you end up playing content warning with other people, or are you still trying to organize that? Also, how did you find it? I watched a playthrough. I watched like some streamers play it, and it looks very funny. Oh my. I said one too many my's. How could I have forgotten? I suppose this happens to be the best of us. Reporter gets old, forgets lots. What a relatable statement. We get old, we forget things. A lot. I'm still waiting for an explanation, Mr. Brushel. Well, that's the thing, see? After he put his envelope in that letter in that envelope, excuse me, Mr. Misham sat there, searching his desk drawer for something. His desk drawer? Yes, a stamp. A so-called postage stamp, end quote. A stamp? Whatever for? Well, to mail his letter, what else? And then, why yes, I think I saw him put it in his letterbox. Yes, it was a yellow envelope, and he put it in that box. Well, apparently this yellow letter has nothing to do with the case. Oh, how I wish it did. Just think if it were a suicide note, what a story. Star writes suicide note in front of the reporter. Falls. End quote. You played exactly one round of it. It was ridiculous. Me too, Brushel, me too. What a mood. Played one round. By yourself? Surely you played with other people, right? As I was saying, that has nothing to do with this case. That said, is it really buggy? Because apparently when some people played it, there were some audio issues. Yes, Your Honor? It makes me wonder about the contents of that red envelope. I'm not reading this out loud, because you guys can clearly read it by yourselves. $100,000 is quite a good deal of money. So this was from 7 years ago, yeah? I don't like how his nose does that. It's kind of disturbing. His whole character demeanor is disturbing. Let's just put it there. Not by myself before I asked to get people, you have some friends drag you into it. Okay. Cool. Nice. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I really wish I could play it, but time zones is one, and I don't think my MacBook would hold very long. So, anyways, so am I finished here? Am I finished here? I was thinking of, you know, going home to start writing. I hate to state what should be pretty obvious to anyone, but when you catch the scent of a story, you make that a rather unique face. Gross. Ah, come on! Attorney has active imagination, little else. End quote. Are we gonna perceive him? Even I noticed something, and my eyes aren't what they used to be. This judge today is so on point. You know, I'm starting to understand what all this perceiving stuff is about. Judge has active imagination. End quote. Apparently he's not on point. A little buggy, voice chat stopped working at one point, it was really loud out of nowhere. It's a bit jarring. Can he stop making that rather unique face? I don't think he's gonna stop, and I feel like we're gonna be zooming in on his face when he does that, so just brace yourselves for that. Please continue with the testimony. Tell us about the scent of a story. Ah, hey, I'm the one asking the questions here usually. Oh, yeah. Gross. The scent of a story. Actually, it took a bit of work to get the thumbs up on the interview. Reporter leverages story, gets his interview, end quote. The story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago. That red envelope probably has something to do with it. Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare, excuse me. So you threatened to go to press with this story? That's how you got your interview? Blackmail? Well, yes. I mean, no. It wasn't exactly black. I mean, I'm not... Something wrong, Mr. Brushel? Look, this is my story, my tidbit. Journalist info is livelihood, end quote. I see. While you have me chatting away in here, what's going on out there? What if some Wally Wordsworth or Sally Scooper gets wind of my story? They could be going to the press while I'm going to waste. The court feels your pain, Mr. Brushel. Mr. Justice, let's pick up the pace. A certain case, 7 years ago. Wait, 7 years ago? Oh, this is connecting. Oh. Okay, it's coming back in my head. But I'm not gonna say anything. Unless someone already knows. Cross-examination. Oh, I get to perceive him now. Reporter leverages story. This is a story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago. You're out. Look at the case. He looks even scarier when stream glitches on him. He's the cause for the stream glitching. But yeah, thanks Thick for popping in. Enjoy the rest of your day, night. It's late for you. And thank you for the hydrate as well. Guys, go follow Thick. He does a lot of crazy but chill streams. So yeah, go check him out. Thanks again, Thick. I hope you sleep well. Anyways, certain case, 7 years ago. Tell us, what case? Oh, gross. Let me state one thing, Mr. Attorney, and you can quote me on this. I can't talk about that case. Why not? It's about journalistic pride and staunchness and credibility and connections. Journalists reveal sources only over his dead body. End quote. So what will it be? Gonna strangle me? Dead men don't tell tales, Mr. Attorney. Sounds pretty determined not to talk. The chances of breaking his will aren't looking good. On the one hand, we have your story, and the other, this letter. What makes you think the two are related? Oh, I was just saying it's possible. Call it reporter's intuition, end quote. Sorry. Hey, I say a lot of things. You going to pick all of them apart? Be my guest. All of them? No, just the incredibly suspicious ones. I see. Anything else to add about Mr. Misham? Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare. Just how amazing was Mr. Misham's talent? Huh? Hoo-wee, boy. I mean, hey, he's a star, man. A star. The flower's brush is like a great undulating river across the canvas. Artist paints light up studio like sun. End quote. This guy's full of wacky gestures, but that one just now was wackier than usual. He looks kind of nervous to me, Apollo. Definitely. I'm sensing something different than before here. Maybe it's time to bring out you-know-what. That testimony left a bad taste in my mouth. His whole thing is just leaving a bad taste in my mouth. It all makes sense. Nothing jumps out as ridiculous. I wonder what the story he's talking about is. It must have been good to get an interview with a famous recluse like that. Powerful enough to drag Drew Misham out of hiding. I wonder. Maybe it has something to do with Mr. Misham's art? Time to perceive! So what could it be? Say what you will. Talent. Here again? Oh, maybe it's not this. Wonder if it's this. That red envelope probably had something to do with it. Is it your hair? No. Maybe I'm missing something here. Your elbow. Your nose. Your ear. Oh, come on. Okay, I think we're back. My internet decided to cut out. Right. So sorry, guys. Sorry. Man. Aussie Wi-Fi doing its job, I guess. What did he say? Something to do with Mr. Masham's art. Did I check this one? I was literally gonna say hi until your internet DC'd. Well, it's back now. I hope it stays back. Also, hey Timo! How you doing? It's been a while. Oh my gosh, that internet glitch. Damn you, Wi-Fi! What are you doing? I didn't even see what... Oops, I pushed the wrong button. If you're still watching, I appreciate you guys sticking around. I'm so sorry about the internet connections. What am I looking for here though? Oh my gosh. You should have a Twitch somewhere. Where are you fidgeting? It's been a while since you've had the energy to chat in your stream. Yeah, I know. It's totally understandable. I've seen you've been streaming a bit though. I've kind of just lurked in your streams. You've looked a few times, but is either at work or on break or too tired. This is horrifying. I'm probably gonna get nightmares from this, I'll be honest. Are you twitching somewhere? You look like you're... I'm slowly trying to stream at least once a week. Oh, that's good. Good? Fun? How's the... yeah, you've been shiny hunting, eh? How's that going? Any luck so far? Did you get your shaman? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm stumped on this dude. Why? I'm definitely missing something and I don't know what. It has to be your fingers, right? Still on shaman. Oh, I'm sorry. What's the count so far? Not the fingers. What is it? I don't want to stay on this trial for too long. Is there something here? No. Over 3k runaways? Ugh. Yeah, would you believe it if I told you that I have not even gone back to Drifloon since I started playing Tunic? Like literally since the beginning of this year, I have not gone back to Drifloon. And I probably will have to after I'm done with this, because I can't find anything else to play. Unfortunately. Oh my gosh, why can't I find anything? I might have to look this up. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up. I'm confused. I am confusion. Village Justice case for trial 1. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so many messages, it's driving me insane. Oh. I know what they're messaging on about, okay. Trial oh, there's 2 trial days thingy sections. Oh, we might as well just finish the trial. Keyword being try. Okay, hold on. Let's... Okay, here. Use a bracelet on the 5th statement. Okay, so that's the statement I'm on. Whoops, sorry. That's what happened to me last time. I was trying to get a shiny shaman. Sometimes you just need a break, you know? Apparently it's on his armpit. Why would I be looking at his armpit? That's kind of gross. Is it this one? Oh, yuck! Ew! That's gross.
Gotcha!
Ew. Ew. Gross. Ew. Sweat much, Mr. Brushel? Ugh. Yeah, well, a man can't help his glands, you know. Ew. It's more than that. When Mr. Mesham's talent was mentioned, he suddenly began to sweat buckets. Ack. You're hiding something about his talent. What? That's ridiculous. Evidence time. Let's show Mr. Machen's true talent lay. Just so happens I have evidence showing the talent mentioned in that letter. What did his letter say? Please send me a receipt. Wait, what? Sign the papers and send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp within 3 days. I need not remind you to speak of this to no one. We started double shiny hunting. Got a scuff camera set up to hunt me a shiny starter in Leaf Game. Oh yeah! I think, yeah, I did briefly see that you were doing that. Is it this one? Can't save, rip.
Take that!
Ah, it's not right. I can't help but wonder what the court is supposed to conclude from this evidence. Oh. Other than that, you've made a horrible mistake. Man burns bridge, forgets to cross first. End quote. Damn it. Let's try that again. All I have to do is reveal what Mr. Machen really was. That shouldn't be so hard, right? It's just, I'm not reading something. What? In the designated account, please send a receipt once you've confirmed the transfer. Remind you to speak to 01. Okay, well apparently it's not that. Is it this? Is it this? Must be. Oops, my bad.
Take that!
Yeah, it is. Okay. I pressed the wrong painting. Whoops. This painting was found in Mr. Machen's studio. There are two problems with this painting. The first is it wasn't painted by Mr. Machen. The second is that there was another painting in the studio which looked exactly like this one, except it was only half done. Then we have a letter discussing a payment of $100,000, which suggests a certain business operation, the business of making forgeries. Ow! We got him! Finally, that took way longer than it should have. That is all, Your Honor. Everyone, please, everyone! Can we keep this private, please? This is my story, my scoop. Actually, Timo, since you're shiny hunting on Leaf Green, isn't the shiny rate, like, doubled? Since it's the older game? Forgery! That's a serious crime! Drew Misham is known as an artist these days, but there were rumors he dabbled in another kind of art until a few years back. Another art meaning forgery? Drew Misham was talented, alright? Talented at making precise, detailed fakes. A fact that certain criminal elements were quick to discover. Yep. Boy, you have a lot of patience. If I did that, I'd be like, nah, see ya, I'm done at like halfway through. Criminal elements? What? You can't seriously be talking about... Exactly. I'm talking about forging evidence. The rumors started circulating 7 years ago. There's the connection. 7 years ago. So are we to understand that this letter, this payment of $100,000 was for... Exactly. Forged evidence nets tidy profit. End quote. Order, order, order! Why, it's like our victim was living a double life. Aha, this is my chance. So the victim had ties to the criminal world, right? He could have had plenty of enemies we know nothing about.
Objection!
This is my first time hearing of this criminal world. We certainly found no criminal connections when we conducted our investigation.
Objection!
But how do you explain all this money? You have to admit there's a possibility of some illegal activity here.
Objection!
But there is no proof tying this letter to our case. Our case was and remains simple from the beginning. Only the defendant could have poisoned that mug that night. Oh right, I forgot we were talking about the poisoning. So focused on the painting. And you, of course. Hey, the only thing I poison is my pen when I'm writing reviews. Mr. Brushell, your testimony to this point has been quite unreliable. It doesn't speak well of your reporting acumen. What are you talking about? My journalism is rock solid. Journalism so solid you could stand an elephant on it. End quote. You're over 600 resets in Leaf Green. Oh boy. Oh boy. In any case, let's hear a summarized recap of your testimony. Cause you have to I'm assuming you're doing like soft resets. But when you see the shiny, is it when you enter the tutorial battle, or is it when they show you the actual sprite? When you're choosing your starter? Because I know in Gen 4, the Heart Gold Soul Silver, I know you can see the shiny sprites, but I don't know about Gen 3. Let's hear a summarized recap of your testimony. If we can ascertain the situation in that studio from the recap, the trial is over. Apollo, what's he talking about? Cross-examination showed Mr. Brushell didn't have a reason or means to poison him. As long as there's no other suspects, then the killer had to be Vera, that's what. This next testimony is our last chance. Mr. Brushell, your testimony, please. After you check your starter, you check your party and summary of the Pokemon. Oh, okay, so it's before the tutorial battle. I see. Well, it's not too bad then, right? For you to soft reset, because roughly how long would the whole process be from you loading the game up to that point of looking at the summary? Not that bad. Takes almost the same amount of time as doing the runaway reset. Oh, okay. That's pretty quick then. Okay, the interview. A recap. The only other person in that studio that night was this defendant. It was Vera who poured the coffee. She admitted as much herself. The only thing that touched Drew's lips during the interview was that mug, and nothing left that studio after he died. Nothing. Clearly, the only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter. Okay. A nice testimony. Clear, succinct, and without room for doubt. Aw, shucks, you really think so? I believe this clarifies the situation that night. Very well, Mr. Justice, you may begin your final cross-examination. Oh, thank goodness. Are we halfway through this trial? Right. I still have one trump card left to play, and I won't let this trial end until I use it. Is it the photo frame? Is it the photo frame? What have we not used? The only person in the studio was the defendant. It was Vera who poured the coffee. Yeah, we know that. The only thing that touched his lips was that mug, and nothing left that studio after he died. Not one thing. You're sure? Yep, sure as sure can be. Well, with one exception. One exception? What? Journalist Spark Brushell does interview, leave studio. End quote. What a dork. Ah, come on. It's a joke. Get it? Not funny, I know, but still. Did something leave the studio that night? Why does that sound familiar? Where have I heard something like that before? I don't remember. It's been 2 weeks since I've played. Now that we've proven our witness is a comedian of sorts, I'd like to turn I'd like to turn to our defense attorney before returning to the testimony. Do you have any idea what, if anything, might have left the studio? What left the studio? The letter? Could have been the letter. I think it's the letter. Because if we established that there was a letter in the letterbox, then that means the letter has left. I think one thing might very well have left the studio that night, actually. A certain something that has vanished from the crime scene. By which you mean... something other than our witness? Of course. Don't tell me. Very mission. Believe me, any comic relief I may provide is entirely unintentional. Then let's see what you've got for us, Mr. Justice. Well, this thing wasn't at the scene of the crime, so I can't show it to you. But I do have evidence that shows how it could have been taken. Yeah, okay.
Take that!
This is the only link between that studio and the outside world. A letterbox. What did Mr. Brusher just tell us? When he entered the studio on the night of the murder, the victim had just finished writing a letter. Yeah, I said that, and yeah, it was true. Furthermore, you went on to tell us that he put the letter in a yellow envelope and put it in the letterbox. Ah, but that very same letterbox was empty, in other words. That night, the yellow envelope disappeared.
Objection!
Ah, yes, intriguing. So an envelope has disappeared from the crime scene. Scene of the crime, rather. Of course, this changes nothing. Huh? He has a point, Mr. Justice. No. What we're trying to figure out here is how the poison got into Mr. Mishim. Is it really important that this envelope, the witness says, he saw disappeared? Oh my gosh, that is quite a glitch you guys just had. I am so sorry. I just saw it on my feed. Ew. Gross. I am so sorry. Well, if it did disappear, then something did leave the studio that night. That seems very important to me. Very well then, the witness will add this to his testimony. You got it. I just had this thought, going back to the whole shiny hunting thing, because the whole intention for my shiny hunting thing right now is to do a full team that is all shinies. Clearly right now it's taking forever, so I'm thinking of maybe speeding it up and doing my shiny hunting, the rest of my shiny hunting in Brilliant Diamond, because I've already finished that game. So I'm just thinking maybe just doing the Masuda method in that game with the Pokemon that I want to use, and then transfer those Pokemon through Pokemon Home into Shining Pearl. I don't know if that's fair, because the process right now is taking forever. Like, for me to get that shiny Chimchar, it took me a whole year. And the Drifloon I started last year. March sometime, I think so. And I still haven't gotten it. So I'm thinking maybe after, if and when I get the shiny Drifloon, then I will start the whole Masuda method for the other Pokemon I want to use. Just to speed it up, you know, because I don't want to be stuck on that game for 10 years. It's gonna feel like it's 10 years at that point, but yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, I just want to make it entertaining, but at the same time just like draining my life away, you know? I want some sort of excitement, but satisfying ones for most part. Ones that don't take me like over 100 hours. I still think this fails to change anything F-word. I wouldn't be so sure. A letter disappeared from the crime scene that night. This is exactly the opening I've been looking for. I've had the idea of shiny hunting with a group of hunters. whether it's offline or someone being live on Twitch. Ah! Go on. The letter was put in the post, but I hardly think that matters.
Hold it!
Nothing could be more serious than an envelope disappearing from that studio. And you were hiding that fact from us. Yes, well, actually. I don't argue the possibility that a letter disappeared from that studio, but for it, isn't there a much more serious question for us? Right, how Mr. Machine was poisoned, I know. But Mr. Brushell's testimony has changed, which means the facts of the case have too. And what he's told us means something entirely different now, I'm starting to think. Let's keep thinking, Apollo. I hardly think that matters. So important about this statement. The problem when you're playing this game 2 weeks since the last time you streamed is that your brain can't remember half the things you found. So my brain's literally kind of blanking. Letter was put in the post, but I hardly think that matters. The letter was put in the post from the studio, but I hardly think that matters. Frame measuring 2 inches by 2 inches, no. Seen YouTube videos of hunters being in group calls, going for their hunts. Seems nice to join, just hunt with other people who have shiny goals. Ah, yeah, that sounds entertaining. If anything, it just keeps each other from going insane. Because you're actually having conversations and not mentally thinking about hunting. The letter was put in the post, but I hardly think that matters. I mean, it's still empty.
Objection!
No, it's not. Damn it! I must have missed what they said. What did I say? Did I even press this? We're in the studio and you're hiding the fact from us. Yes, well, actually, that would be a possibility, but I thought it was in there. Exactly, yeah. Clearly the one who could have poisoned him was his daughter. I'm just gonna press this, I don't know. You say clearly as though it were obvious. But this claim that the defendant poisoned the victim is merely conjecture. Ah, yes, well, you see, in my business, it's all about making the most ridiculous thing sounds right. A bad habit, I know. No one's pleased. At the end of the day, we are shiny hunters who love the thrill of the chase. That is true. It's somewhat worthwhile in the end, but at the same time, it's like, can you please end this torture? Yes, well, actually, I guess this is more a case of ridiculous journalist sounds wrong, end quote. The court is forced to agree with you. Please refrain from wild conjecture. Understood loud and clear. If only I could believe that. What do you think, Polo? Everything he's saying seems so not flawed. Well, that's kind of what you want from a testimony, really. I need to keep my eye on what matters. How and why was Drew Mission killed? Barrel poured the coffee, that's not going to change. But if that coffee didn't kill him, I need to find out what did improve. Oh, the photo! It was the photo. But where do I present it? On this statement? I don't know. It has to be the photo. Is it this?
Objection!
No. Where am I pressing or presenting? Oh my gosh. Internet, please. Please! Stop glitching out! Maybe I have to press all the statements again. Let's just try that. Oh, that makes sense now. Okay.
Hold it!
You sure about that? He's sure. Well, to be really precise, I was busy gobbling mint candies the whole time. One of those candies might have been poisoned.
Objection!
Yet, at the time of the autopsy, no fresh fragrance of mint filled the room, and no mint residue was found. It was a long shot anyway. Don't tell me you're still trying to prove this. Do you think the victim ate, drank, or otherwise ingested something other than coffee? Well, Mr. Justice, if you have some proof, the possibility is there. I can feel it, just maybe not prove it yet. And possibility isn't going to cut it, not now. Mr. Misham ingested that poison via a route other than coffee. And there we provide the photo. Duh. Proof is possible. Here goes nothing. Have I been playing Pokemon off stream? No, I haven't actually. I've been taking a long break from Pokemon, which is actually quite nice. Because I think I've kind of burned myself out from playing Pokemon all of last year. And by that I literally just mean shiny hunting, and then I tried doing an Emerald rando. I haven't even finished that. And I tried playing Pokemon Unbound. I think I only did 2 streams of that, and then I haven't gone back to it. So, you know, it's going great. I don't know if I want to go back to the Emerald rando though, because I've played that game so many times to the point where I'm actually bored. Like, it's randomized, but I'm getting bored of playing it, which is really sad. Pokemon Unbound. I wanted to play a fan game for a while, but I don't know. I know Pokemon Unbound is good. Like, I've heard great things about it, but I don't know why I wasn't really in it. Like, by the end of the second stream, I just didn't want to keep playing it, which is unusual for me. But yeah, I don't know. To randomize another game? Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't have a computer that can run emulators smoothly. So I'm kind of stumped on my options right now. DS game wise. So I can't really randomize a DS game. I've already randomized Fire Red, I think. Well, I did a Nuzlocke on Leaf Green. That one was interesting. Way earlier, like way early into my streaming career, I did a Gen 4 rando. Then after that, yeah, nothing really else. Kate starts new PC. Yes, I do. Anyways, you do understand what we need, yeah? Proof, Air Forward, not possibilities. Of course, and Prosecutor Gavin, I hope you understand. I'm ready to give you that proof. What did you say? I have proof of the disappearing envelope. I saw writing a letter, I did. Which was picked up by the mailman, I assume. Of course, which means that envelope had a stamp on it. Stamp. Ah! Oh, was the stamp in the envelope? Oh, was the stamp in the frame? Oh. As we all know, stamps come with dried glue on the back. In order to use the glue, you have to wet it by licking the stamp.
Objection!
There, no one worth talking to actually licks stamps in this day and age.
Objection!
I have not used this stamp in years, but I'm pretty sure these sticker stamps to save your taste buds. Even if you wanted to talk to him, you couldn't. He's dead after all.
Objection!
Okay, so he licked the stamp, but wait. How does that explain the atroquinin on the rim of the coffee?
Objection!
If he licked the back of a poison stamp, the poison would get on his tongue, yes? Why? Oh, what would then happen if he put the coffee mug to his mouth, Those traces on the mug weren't the killer's doing, it was the other way around. What? The coffee mug didn't poison Mr. Mishim. Mr. Mishim poisoned the coffee mug himself. What? Order. But that doesn't... does it? Recall, if you would. Atroquinin is a slow-acting poison, yes? The poison entered his body when he put the stamp on that envelope. But his time wasn't up until the very moment he touched his lips to that cup of joe. Oh my gosh, a revelation! Say what? I hope you guys are enjoying the stream. Once again, I apologize for the stream cutting out and for the multiple matrices you guys are going through. Internet has been really crappy for some weird reason. So yeah, I do apologize, but I appreciate you guys sticking around despite these disgusting internet problems I'm having. Yeah. Feel free to follow if you're new. You can also help me get to my follower goal when you follow. 250 followers, I'll play the Legend of Zelda game. Yep. Yeah, something to add, Mr. Brushel? Uh-oh, his nose is picking up another scent. As I believe I mentioned earlier. Well, that's the thing, see? After he put his letter in that envelope, Mr. Mishim sat there searching his desk drawer for something. Yes, a stamp, a so-called postage stamp, end quote. But you know, I don't seem to remember him ever finding one. Maybe he just ran out? Incidentally, we searched the desk drawer at the scene of the crime. There were no stamps, not a single one. That does pose a problem. How would you prove that stamp was coated with poison? Actually, I'm glad no other stamps were found. It makes proving the stamp he used was poisoned possible. Good show, good show. You can't even prove there were a stamp at the scene in the first place. Well, let's hear what the defense has to say. I'm going to save. Where's your evidence that proves the existence of this poison stamp? The frame! Well, that certainly is a cute little frame, and by little I mean really little. It was on the victim's desk, Your Honor. Quite empty, as you can see for yourself. I noticed that too during my inspection. So what? Apparently you weren't as observant as you should have been. You see, when you saw this frame, it was missing something quite important. Missing something? Yes, a pale bluish stain on the inside of the frame. Atroquinin residue! What? Why wasn't I told about this? The frame is only 2 inches square. The face of the frame is even smaller. Maybe an inch wide at most. You aren't saying... Oh, but I am. Tell me, what fits in such a small frame? A commemorative stamp, perhaps. Commemorative stamp. Order! The poison stamp was in this frame? Impossible! Prosecutor Gavin? Why would he put something like that on his desk? Don't tell me he had it there so he could commit suicide if the mood struck. Okay. That's a way to go. You know, can I say something? I had a thought, see? What, Mr. Brushel? And please stop chittering around like that. The victim was a forger, right? There's a lot of money in that line of work. Forger forges friends, makes enemies too, end quote. So the poison stamp might have been a murder weapon aimed at him.
Objection!
You rock out that air guitar. Oh, okay, never mind. Oh, rich. That's rich. Leave the ridiculous flights of fancy to the Gavinier song lyrics, please. Finally, something we can agree on. The stamp was a murder weapon. Nonsense. Murder is a simple business. Who would go to such lengths? No one. Oh, I disagree. Come again. Recall, if you would, the victim's reclusive lifestyle. Drew Misham hid from the world. He avoided meetings. His only contact with the outside world was the mail. The mail? Now, if you wanted to kill someone you couldn't meet, but you knew read letters, the stamp would be the perfect weapon. Ridiculous. Where's your proof? I want proof. Show us evidence that this poison stamp was stamped to him as a murder weapon. I might not have evidence, per se, but things are finally starting to come together. What is it, Apollo? Your fists are trembling. I think I know what happened. I don't believe it, but I can see it. I think I know how Mr. Machine was killed. Well, fill us in, Mr. Justice. A certain piece of evidence points to the truth, Your Honor. I can show you how someone with the intent to kill sent Mr. Machine to the stamp of death. Was it the letter? Must be the letter, right? It has. That's the only thing I can really think of. Yeah, because that's the only thing that came through, so it must be this. Isn't this the envelope, the one from 7 years ago? Think about the text of the letter again. There were 2 pages in the envelope. This is page 1, and this is page 2. There you go. I want to draw your attention to one phrase in particular. Send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp within 3 days. Oh. That did not register in my head, I'll be honest. I kind of just went over that. The enclosed stamp, Your Honor. Ah! In other words, if I have this straight, the stamp, poison on the stamp, lick, 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 gasp, end quote. Now, what if he had done exactly as the letter asked? He would sign the document, put it in the envelope, and put the stamp on it, right? Then he would put it in his letter box. 15 minutes wouldn't have elapsed between affixing the stamp and mailing the letter. But the clock started ticking, and when the time came, he drew his last breath, and the murder weapon would be taken away from the scene. Quite conveniently, thanks to the postal system. Oh my gosh. Such a splendid imagination you have, Air Forward. Let me confirm one thing with you, if I might. So, this poisoned stamp was inside this envelope from 7 years ago, yeah? Is that what you'd have us believe? Really? Well, it is a little bit of a stretch, but there's a possibility. Yes, a very small possibility. How small, I wonder? Poison stamp in this envelope? A stamp that then became the murder weapon? How do you intend to prove the seeming coincidence? Well, it was 7 years ago. We don't even know who sent that letter. And your answer is silence, I see. Very well, I move to... It's not nice to... Ah! Is it who I think it is? It's not nice to pick on the Fräulein, Clavier. Is it who I think it is? Yes, he's back! I mean, oh no, he's not. Oh dear, what happened? What happened? Was she pretending to be... Okay. Emma. Well, like my Christoph Gavin impression? Okay, yeah, fair. Freaked me out for a bit. I was like, yes! Oh, never mind. Did I sound like him? Don't quit your day job. Don't you have a crime scene to be looking after, Fräulein Detective? Someone had to come dig you all out of this mess you're making of this case. Mess? You know, none of this would have happened if you just trusted in science a little bit more. You can find out if that step was in that envelope easy. Care to explain yourself, Fräulein Detective? Glare at me all you want, but science is on my side. It's all in the residue, right? That's right, the poison detection spray. Oh my gosh, are we gonna spray the envelope? Produce the red envelope at once. You can open it on the authority of the court. Time to spray! Spray, spray, spray! Oh, looky! Well, would you look at that? No mistaking it. That's actual quinine residue. I don't believe it. A murder weapon from the past. Now, 7 years later, it bears its fangs at last. Wow, are you doing poetry, Judge? Absolutely outrageous. Tell me why. Tell me why. Why didn't this murder take place 7 years ago? Well, there's one possibility. Maybe Mr. Misham figured it out. Figured what out? He realized that the person who sent that letter wanted him dead, so he sent his reply with a different stamp and put his decisive evidence in a frame. But where's the stamp? Oh dear. Ack, you're still here? Can I make a statement here on the record? I, Spark Razor Toothbrush, will claim this scoop as mine. We're not gonna make him shut up, are we? Drew Misham killed in cold blood by sender of 7-year-old letter. End quote. No, maybe something more succinct. Star falls after 7-year delay. End quote. Order, order, order. I see no room for further argument here. Though I admit this is all coming as quite a shock. To think that the murder weapon reached his mouth after 7 years. Stamp his ticket straight to afterlife, end quote. Oh my gosh, please don't you start. Uh-oh, I think the witness is a bad influence on our judge. You don't say, Trucy. You don't say. I see no need for further debate on this matter. The sender of that letter 7 years ago could hardly have been our defendant. Apollo! I think we just won. Very well, this court finds the defendant. Ah, of course he would. Is the bright future of our— oh wait, is this the bright future of our legal system? Prosecutor Gavin? A ticket to the afterlife from 7 years ago? Tickets from Gavin Ears shows I'm invalid after 2 weeks. But it doesn't make sense any other way. It boggles my mind that so many people haven't noticed this. There's a fatal contradiction in Air Forward's claim. Contradiction? A poison stamp was placed in this envelope 7 years ago, whereupon it was framed until now. If that's the case, then why would Drew Misham have done what he did? Emma explained that he must have realized it was poisoned. Therein lies the rub. Why would he have used it? 7 years ago, the forger Drew Misham sensed the trap and put the stamp in a frame. I do not debate this, but this begs the question. Why, 7 years later, did he use that stamp on the night of the murder? That's what I just asked! Thank you very much for asking again. Surely you don't mean to suggest that Mr. Misham simply forgot. He put the murder weapon in a frame on his desk for 7 years and forgot? You expect us to believe he sprang the trap on himself? While I admit this is all quite shocking myself, it does seem highly unlikely that he would fall afoul of a trap that had been sitting on his desk for 7 years. Apollo, I don't think we're winning anymore. I'm glad to see we're all back in the real world now. Welcome back to reality. We've been waiting for you.
Objection!
Okay, then how do you explain the poison stamp that was in this envelope? A poison stamp? Where exactly is this poison stamp again? Have you brought it to court for us? I see no proof that such a thing ever existed.
Objection!
What about the atrocanin? What about the atrocanin residue, huh? Oh, I agree, that does seem to be atrocanin residue, but for it, it's certainly no stamp. Yeah, but even if your precious poison stamp did exist, Drew Mission never would have used it. That is all. Urk. I believe we've come to a conclusion. Again. How many conclusions did we draw to? Apollo, were we wrong the whole time? I can't believe it. The poison traces match up. It can't be a coincidence. I'd like to bring some closure to this issue sometime this year. Mr. Justice? Yes, Your Honor. Let's review the facts and see where we stand. 7 years ago, Drew Mission received a red envelope. There were traces of the poison atrocanin on the document inside that envelope. A similar trace was also found at the crime scene on this tiny picture frame. The defense has indicated the possibility of a yellow envelope, an envelope that left the scene of the crime with the poison stamp on it. I don't know why I say poison. Yes, but even if this envelope contained a poison stamp, and Drew Mission, knowing this, put it in a frame, he never would have used that stamp. I'm afraid you're right, which means there is a fatal flaw in the defense's case. I haven't been on the wrong track this whole time, I'm sure of it. The traces of atrocanin, the envelope, the frame, and Drew Mission's mysterious death. They're all connected somehow. Well, Mr. Justice, do you have a conclusion for us? The defense stands by its case, Your Honor. We've seen that the logical outcome of the evidence makes no sense, which means that one of our clues must be fake. Da-da-da-dan. Ah, fake clue? Fascinating! And if we find this fake, your wild fantasies will prove quite reasonable, yeah? The fake clue that's thrown us off the poison's trail is none other than... Is he really dead? What if he's actually dead? The victim was a fake clue? I'm afraid I don't understand. I'll explain. We have an envelope, a frame, and a mug linked by poison. That all makes sense. What doesn't make sense is the victim himself.
Objection!
Congratulations, you've completely lost me. So the fake evidence is none other than the master of fake himself, the forger. It makes a good story, I'll give you that. The fake clue, fakes, forgeries. Ah! I'm not following. Apollo, I'll admit it. I'm completely lost. I know that face, that's the I just had an idea face. I don't know if I'm right, but I'm going with it anyway. What if our forger is the fake? Come again? 7 years ago, our forger sniffed a trap and stepped aside. 7 years passed. Now the forger stumbles into that very same trap and dies. Why? That's what I want to know. Because the forger who was killed was a fake. Huh? I'm confused. What? Here we are again. The victim was a fake? One forger smelled the trap, one forger fell into the trap. Okay. Is anyone following? Because I'm a bit lost, as I have said like a million times. That's 2 forgers and one of them was a fake. Okay. Order. So are you telling us that Drew Mission, the victim, was a fake? Well, if he was the fake, who was the real forger? You'd better not be claiming there was some kind of switcheroo. I'm afraid you're going to have to back up your story. Mr. Justice, show us who the real Drew Mission was. If Drew Mission wasn't the real forger, there's only one other person it could have been. Is that Vera? Understood, Your Honor. Forger Drew Mission was himself a forgery. The real forger was... I think it's her. I'm lost in general with the trial. This trial has just been a mess. I think it's her. There can only be one explanation, really. The real identity of the forger known as Drew Mission is none other than his only daughter, Vera Mission. Order, order, order! Mr. Justice, this is going out on a limb, even for you. Although, I do want to say, the the Phoenix Wright trilogy, it's always the last case that just makes my head go like, what the heck am I reading? Like case 1-5, it kinda made sense, but at the same time it was so stupid. The way how the whole murder stuff happened. Case 2, that one was pretty good. That one definitely made sense for the most part. The third one, 3-4, excuse me. Yeah, I don't know. To this day, I kid you not, I'm still very confused about 3-4. Because I have no idea how to put it all together. Like, they explained it, but at the same time my brain's like, but how does this happen? And then how did that happen? Like, I think you're missing something. Like, I don't know. Also, when I said 1-4, I meant 1-5. 1-5, I'm still like, I don't really know what's happened either. But 1-4, yeah, okay, no, actually, no, 1-4, it was really silly. 1-5 was when it was just all like, what the heck is going on? But anyways, I kinda agree. I mean, Vera, a forger? Let's consider it before you write it off entirely. If you look at the paintings in the studio, one fact becomes quite clear. Also, whatever I just spewed out with the other games, I feel like most of you wouldn't know what I'm talking about if you haven't actually seen the game or played the game. Games, rather. Forgery had been taking place in that studio for quite some time. The forger wasn't caught in that trap 7 years ago. This can only mean that the one who was caught in the trap wasn't the forger. Well, actually that does make a certain kind of sense. One more thing! Only 2 sets of fingerprints were found in the forger's studio. Drew Mission's and Vera Mission's. If we know that Drew Mission wasn't the forger, that leaves only one possibility by process of elimination. The forger was Vera Mission. Well, back to the air guitar. When in doubt, play the air guitar. Fascinating. Vera Mission, you've been paying attention to the trial so far? Let's just ask her and be done with it, shall we? Who are you? Who is the forger Drew Mission? Oh. I was just about to say, she has no pupils. Like, light in her pupils, and there it is. Was that an expression of emotion I saw on her face? She's staring holes into Prosecutor Gavin's face. I'm used to being stared at by Fräuleins, believe me. Though they usually talk to me too. Tell us, were you the one who forged those works of art? Yes. So the forger Drew Mission was you? What is that? What is... I can't tell what that is. I can't... I don't know. Yes, it was me. What? What? Is this where the second half of the trial comes in? The court was in an uproar and it wasn't coming down. We had to take a break for a 10-minute recess. Okay, oh my goodness. I am so sorry that took so much longer than it should have. We are going to finish this trial, because tomorrow I want to start with the other two sections. We are jumping straight into the next one. Once again, thank you so much everyone for hanging around. And I apologize for the glitches you guys are seeing. And to YouTube! Those of you watching on YouTube, I am so sorry about the glitches that you have seen so far. I once again will blame it on the Aussie Wi-Fi because Aussie Wi-Fi sucks! Anyways. Okay. So where exactly does this leave us, Apollo? Well, the Dream Mishim who was killed wasn't Dream Mishim, the forger, basically. Huh? Well then, who was he? Well, he was actually doing her nails. So you really made those forgeries? Yes. Oh, father. Father! I know it was wrong. Could you tell us how it happened? My father was a painter. I loved painting ever since I was a child. One day, father saw it in me. He saw that I had talent. A talent for making forgeries? How should I say it? It was not only paintings I made. Given the materials, I could make anything. Anything? Father was so proud and I so happy. But in the end, I was making those forgeries. I've never had a good constitution nor personality. I know very little of the world outside my door. Now, because of me, father is dead. Do you know about this red envelope? I remember that envelope. It was some time ago. So you were already a, you were already creating your works back then? I started when I was only 12 years old. So the one who figured out that stamp was poisoned, that was... Mr. Justice, it's time! To the courtroom, please! Right, out of time. Wait, Vera, just one more thing, please! Those 3 paintings in the studio. I painted those as part of my work. Right, see, we checked them out and we saw what was underneath. We saw rough sketches underneath 3 finished paintings. I see. Mr. Justice? Yes. Father, he knew of you. Of both of you. Your late father? He was watching, gathering information. All about the Right & Co law offices. But lately we're not doing just law. Yes, you do tricks, gags to amuse, and play piano. Well, they're not really gags. Yet when father heard you had resumed the legal business, how pleased he was. Who was Mr. Mishim? How am I supposed to know? What if he was Daddy's daddy? Okay, that's a sentence. Judging from the relative ages involved, I'd say it's highly unlikely. What's the age gap between those two, actually? 33 and 52. Oh, possible. Things are already confusing enough with all these daddies running around. Please don't say that. Ah, that's a... Ugh. That's... Ugh. We know that the victim's daughter, Vera, was the forger. What does this mean for the case? Guess we're about to find out. on to the second part of the trial. Court is now back in session. Vera seems pretty tense. I'm just gonna drink water. She's practically chewing her fingernails clean. Didn't she just paint her nails? Why is she doing that? Perhaps you could begin by telling us how it all worked. How did you set up this Drew Mission Forger persona? There's that stare again. She's drilling more holes into his head. I know it's hard for you, but hey, he's a handsome guy. What's hard? Very well, miss, if you would. Did you really make those detestable forgeries? Perhaps you'd rather answer my question? Were you the one who painted that painting? The remarkably similar one? Ah, yes. Ah, yes, indeed. I painted it, yes. Father praised me quite highly for it. So she was the one who made the forgeries. Yet she did not wish to reveal the truth of their operation, though the victim was a stand-in. A decoy. To the world at large, he was the forger, not her. I've done a bad thing. I have, haven't I? Regardless, we need a little more information about, for instance, this. You have seen this before, yeah? Yes, it was in the desk drawer. Very well, you may proceed with your testimony. Tell us everything you know about this envelope. The red envelope. I created things and Father sold them. This envelope came after my first work that was other than a painting. Father handled the deal, all of it. I received the stamp that was in that envelope. It was after that job that we moved to the current studio. Oh. There certainly was much of great interest in your testimony. Not that the witness realizes it. Very well, please begin the cross-examination. Right, okay. I need more information about this forger. Miss Drew Misham. Just kinda looking at my frames. Or my internet speed, rather. My frames aren't... I say my frames aren't dropping. They are. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Created things, Father sold them. Might as well just press everything. So these things you were making, you mean paintings identical to the other paintings, right? The closer they were, the happier Father was. I was happy too. Still, you're quite young now. When did you begin this work? My first painting sold when I was 12. 12? Your Honor! She had no idea what she was doing was illegal.
Objection!
Easy there, little attorney. You're not here to defend her for the crime of forgery. True. Please tell us more about this envelope. This envelope that may very well have killed your father. Alright. Envelope came after my first work. By other than a painting, you mean you'd only done paintings up to that point? Yes. But Father had a realization. He noticed my talent extended to making things other than paintings. For instance, a letter someone had written, or a fingerprint left upon a cup, or a signature on a document, a seal upon a letter. None of this makes her sound very innocent at all. And the $100,000 promised in this letter was the start. The beginning of a new industry for Drew Mishim. A new industry? The creation of items to be used in criminal proceedings. Forging evidence, in other words. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, indeed. So you didn't know how the things you made. So you didn't know how the things you were making were being used? I enjoy painting very much. I think I understand. The Fräulein had lived in an unusual little world. Can you tell us what happened to the papers that were in this envelope? Father signed them and sent them back, I believe. Did he follow the instructions? Stand in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp? This is a rather important matter. Give your answer to some thought. Received the stamp that was in the envelope. What do you mean, you received it? Did I do something wrong? You didn't use that stamp because it was dangerous, correct? Deadly poison on the back, atroquinin. A moment, Air Forehead. You can't force an answer upon the witness. Now then, perhaps you would tell me, Fräulein Vera, why did you receive this stamp? Is something wrong? It was beautiful. Ah, you mean it was one of those commemorative stamps? Yes, I think it was. So you didn't know about the poison. A sad face. I guess not. So the trap failed by chance, by mistake, thanks to this commemorative stamp. Quite the close call. It was after that we moved to the studio. You mean you moved to where the current Drew studio is? Yes, we saw very few people there. I began drawing picture books. The single job had tied them to the criminal underworld. I think Mr. Mishim wished to reduce their visibility in the world at large. When we had to meet someone for some reason, Father posed as the creator of the work. So that was the real essence of the artist Drew Mishim. You did the work and he supplied the face. No, you really didn't know anything, did you? You had no idea how much danger you were in. Apparently not. About this commemorative stamp, could you tell us more about it? Can we just somehow see this stamp, please? It was very pretty. And more than that. Yes. It was a picture of people I liked at the time. This is something new. People at the time? Wait, you hate them now? Sorry, Wi-Fi? Are you okay? Jumping around a bit. I think we're good for now. Apparently we've got some cross-examination yet ahead of us. If you would be so kind as to continue the testimony, Fräulein. Oh, magicians! I didn't even read that. The stamp was a picture of my favorite magicians, so I kept it. Magicians? I love mysterious things. I always have. Even though she fainted when she saw Mr. Hat? You're confusing mysterious with freaky. Very true. Freaky Mr. Hat. The wooden puppet that just pops out of nowhere from Trucy. Father took me when I was very young. It was a great magic show. I loved it so much. See? Isn't magic great? Fine, great, yeah, sure. No need to get excited. But the magic troupe we saw disbanded soon after. I was quite sad. Did she just say what I think she said? Magic troupe? Now where have I heard that before? The red envelope came after she'd completed her first job. That makes it a letter from her client, whoever wanted a forgery made. Apollo! We're close. We just have to piece together the parts. A deadly weapon in a red envelope. And the path it took to take Drew Mission's life. So... Oh, I hate this animation. It slows everything down. It's on this statement. I think. I'm assuming. Do I have anything for this? Do not open it until the time is right. Can I open it now? Nope. Okay. Is there anything on this card? What a pretty business card. Looks like a postcard almost. And on the back, just her name. That seems odd to me. Huh? What does? Why would you write your name on the front and back of the card? Why not use the space on the back for a self-portrait or a caricature? And people will remember what you look like too. That's not a bad idea, actually. Here, give me one of your cards, Apollo. She's drawing something. Hey, my hair's not that spiky. Okay, so nothing important. Oh my gosh, this ticket is $70. So expensive. Are you ready, Apollo? Ready for what? For what? For the Troupe Grammary Grand Magic Show. It's not like I'm getting up on stage or anything. What are you talking about, Apollo? You can't enjoy magic if you're not a part of what's going up on stage. I'll lend you my spare costume if you need one. Huh? You mean I can't go in this? No. Does it get more straightforward than that? Okay. That expensive ticket. Pretty expensive. It's probably like one of those, you know, those cheap seats that you get. Like, it's like really far back from the stage. It's the furthest one away from the stage. Next one. Yeah, I think I feel like I have to present that ticket. Oh, hurry up. Yep. Those magicians you liked. Was it this bunch? Yes. Apollo. She didn't say yes, but it's obvious. Apollo, they're not a bunch. I see. Still, I have to wonder. Why include a commemorative stamp like that in a business letter? Good question. Well, pre-stamps are always better, and you can't beat Troupe Grammary. But the whole murder plan was a failure because of it. Ironic, don't you think? Prosecutor Gavin? He has not said a single word. Oh, that's probably why. Never mind. Prosecutor Gavin? Grammary. What's with Gavin? Might I ask just one question of this witness? In your testimony just now, you stated this was your first work that was other than a painting. Please, tell me, what exactly did you make? Oh, he knows something. Can I ask what? Okay. No, answer the question. Now. Eek. Uh-oh. Is she wearing shoes? All I saw was socks. Prosecutor Gavin? You're usually not the one whose volume concerns me. Yes, it is unbecoming of me, I apologize. But I must know. Please, Miss Shim. Miss Shim. Oh my gosh, that's a mouthful. Tell me. It was a book. A single page in a book. A book? Please be more specific. It was a handwritten book. Like a diary. Okay. What's going on? No, I don't know. What is happening? What's going on? What's wrong with Prosecutor Gavin? He looks like he just saw a ghost. Miss Misham, this book. Where is it? Oh, was there a picture of a silk hat on the back cover? Yes or no? How did you know?
Objection!
Prosecutor Gavin, the defendant is answering all of your questions. Stop badgering her. He's told you nothing, has he? Uh-oh. Your soiled, solid mentor... Solid? Solid. Yeah, solid. Mentor? Nothing. Solid. Who? Phoenix Wright. Who else? Daddy? He never told you about the trial 7 years ago. About how he came to lose his attorney's badge. It was a certain piece of evidence that decided his fate, you know? A certain diary. On the back, it bore the mark of a silk hat. What? Oh, she is wearing shoes. It just looked like she was just wearing socks. Phoenix Wright, tossed out of the profession by false evidence? And the forger who made that evidence? Is this girl standing in front of me? Vera, you must tell us. The evidence you made was used in the trial 7 years ago. Who asked Drew Mission you to forge that evidence? For all of our sakes, who was it? Who was it? Tell us. We only met once. You met the client? Well, who was it? It was... Oh great, now what? What's going on with Vera? She's staring at Prosecutor. Oh, the brother! Is that why? She's freaking out because of... What's his face? Is it Christoph? Yeah, Christoph. Since they're twins. She's staring at Prosecutor Gavin's face again. Guess what? Is this something about me? I remember clearly. I remember who gave me the book, the diary. Who was it? Ugh. Vera! She just faint. Oh, she sure did. The devil. Oh, what the heck? Was not expecting that to come out of her mouth. Okay. Defendant Vera Misham. Condition: unconscious. Examine his diagnosis: acute atrial. Oh, what? How did she get poisoned? This ends the recording of the trial for the murder of Drew Misham. Vera Misham was during the trial poisoned by an unknown assailant. Her nails. She was chewing on her nails. So somehow the poison ended up on her nails. The nail polish? Because she was painting her nails during the break. So that has to be it. Someone swapped the nail polish. The dosage was just under the lethal amount, sparing the defendant's life. She is currently in intensive care and is not to be disturbed for any reason. A very simple case, at first glance, until it finally began to show its true colors. Oh, we're getting the backstory. The long road to the truth takes us to the record of another trial. Oh my gosh, it's old Phoenix Wright. Or young Phoenix Wright, rather. In some ways, that was the starting point of it all. Oh my goodness me. This is a look of a rock star. But oh my goodness. What a look. Oh my gosh. So I kind of want to check how long I've actually been streaming for properly. Oh, nearly 3 hours. Yeah, okay. Oh, it's baby Trucy. I kind of missed what he was saying. And that was where we must go to find the whole truth. Is it to be continued? Yep. Oh man, that was like a really short half. But I feel like the second half is gonna be super long. And by second half, I mean this next bit. Yeah, we're going into 7 years ago, so that's gonna be long. Okay, well, I guess we'll end it there for tonight. Probably good, because then I can kind of figure out what to do with my VOD. And by figure out, I mean, I'm just gonna put all the cuts together and then pop it into one VOD for YouTube. Yeah, that was a bit of a interesting trial. So I'm assuming we either have 2 or 3 parts left to this episode. Yes, we have this. And then we still have the trial at the end, but I'm assuming there's something in between those two. An investigation maybe? Because there has to be more evidence. There's no way they could just be like, there you go, everything's solved. So I feel like there's something in after this trial, the 7 years ago trial. But we will leave that for tomorrow. Depending on how long we go for tomorrow, or how quickly rather we go through this, I might try and see if I can finish the game, since I'm pretty close to finishing it. So we'll see how we go. And I don't have an early Saturday morning, so we could possibly do a longer stream than 3 hours. But yeah, like I said, we will see how we go tomorrow.